Can you imagine waking up one day to a world flipped upside down? No more grocery stores, no 911 or help from authorities, just pure chaos. You know, the classic SHTF scenario that every prepper talks about. I know it sounds like a scene from a movie, but in today's unpredictable world, it's not just a possibility. It is something that smart folks are preparing for. So if life decides to throw us a curveball, being prepared is not just an option, it's a necessity. It's about protecting you, your family, and the life you have worked hard to build. So in this video, we're heading into the world of survival and preparedness. We are going to walk through the items that attract looters like bees to honey, and more importantly, how to hide them effectively. And we'll also cover some easy idea on how to hide these items. Precious metals and jewelry. First, let's look at something that shines even when times are dark. Precious metals like gold and silver and jewelry made from precious metals. They're the universal currency that holds its value, perfect for trading when you need to seal the deal on essential goods or services. So you want your precious metal stashed away out of sight and out of mind. Maybe it's a hidden safe in the floorboards or a discreet spot behind a false wall in your closet. The key is making sure only you and maybe your spouse know about it. And remember, variety is your friend. So instead of big bars, think smaller coins or pieces. They're easier to trade and less conspicuous. Keep them safe, and they'll be your silent financial backbone ready for when you need them most. Food stores. When the world is in chaos and grocery shelves are bare, that stash of dried goods, canned eats, and clean water isn't just food, it's your lifeline. But here's the deal. If everyone knows you've got the mini-mart in your basement, you're basically rolling out the welcome mat for trouble. Storing your food discreetly is the name of the game. Think about tucked away spots like a false wall in the basement or a cool, dry space under the stairs. Like every other thing on this list, food storage is all about locations that don't scream pantry to anyone who might be snooping around. Let's talk about packaging. Keep it nondescript. No flashy labels or clear containers. You want your supplies to blend in, not stand out. The consequences of your food stores getting discovered can be severe. Livestock. When your pantry starts to dwindle, having a flock of chickens, hogs, or even a cow is like having a renewable grocery store right in your backyard. They're not just animals, they provide sustainable food security when the going gets tough. But here's the catch. The clucks, the oinks, and the moos are like dinner bells for folks on the prowl for an easy meal. So how do you keep your farm friends safe and sound? It is all about strategic concealment and protection. Think about fencing, not just any fence, but something solid, discreet, and maybe even a little bit camouflaged. You might even want to consider creating a type of boma around your livestock, which will help camouflage their pens even more. And let's not forget about routines. Switch up your feeding times, keep noise to a minimum, and maybe even consider a livestock guardian animal if it fits the bill. Believe it or not, a donkey makes a great guardian. They're naturally protective and they have a long history of being used to protect livestock. As for keeping them quiet, here are a few tips. Choose breeds of livestock known for being calm and quiet. If you provide adequate insulated shelter, the animals will tend to feel more safe, and the cozy shelter will muffle sounds. Regular exercise can help burn off excess energy and keep them more calm and quiet. Well-fed and watered animals also tend to be more content. Socialization and training in desensitization can also make a big difference. Livestock feel more secure when they're around other animals. Additionally, by training them not to be alarmed at loud noises, it can help them keep quiet. Soundproof your shelters and pens using hay bales, rubber mats, and even styrofoam. This can help absorb and dampen sound. Firearms. Of course, you need to hide your self-defense weapons. When things get dicey, the line between you being seen as sitting ducks and having the means to defend your homestead blurs. But owning one comes with big responsibility, especially when it comes to storage. So you'll want to store your firearms and ammunition securely and out of sight. A hidden gun safe or a discreet compartment can be a game changer. And it's not just about hiding them, it's about making sure they're accessible when you need them the most without being obvious to anyone with sticky fingers. Solar panels. These silent powerhouses are your ticket to self-sufficiency, converting those golden rays of sunshine into much-needed electricity. But here's the tricky part. Solar panels aren't exactly low profile. They sit out there soaking up the sun and pretty much announcing that you have resources. If you can, set up your panels in a spot that's out of the main line of sight. Think about angles, places that aren't easily visible from the road, or common pathways. And then there's camouflage. No, you don't want to cover them up and block the sun, but you can get creative with surrounding structures or natural cover to make them less obvious. Generators. When the grid's down and the lights are out, a generator gives some semblance of normalcy in the blink of an eye. Generators are like beacons in the dark, both literally and figuratively. They're loud, and they tell everyone in earshot that you've got power. So how do you keep this precious resource from becoming a target? It's all about being smart with your setup. Camouflage is key. Think about building a discreet enclosure or using natural cover to keep it out of sight. Noise reduction is another big one. There are ways to muffle the sound, like building a soundproof housing or setting it up in a way that dampens the noise. Or look into solar or propane generators that make virtually no noise. And don't forget about securing it physically. A sturdy lock, a chain, or even positioning it in a way that makes it hard to move can deter would-be thieves. Again, the goal here is to blend in, not stand out. Fuel. It is like liquid gold in any crisis, whether it's for keeping your vehicle ready to roll or your generator humming. Having a stash of fuel is non-negotiable. It's the lifeblood of mobility and power when the grid's down and gas stations are just hollow shells. But stashing fuel isn't as simple as filling up a few cans and calling it a day. First off, think about storage locations that aren't obvious. Maybe a discreet corner of your garage or a well-ventilated shed. And remember, fuel's not just valuable, it's volatile. Safety is key, so store it in proper containers and away from potential sparks or flames. Add the right stabilizer and your fuel can sit tight for months, even years, without losing its efficacy. Vehicles. We all rely on them, but might not think to secure them in a pinch. When things go sideways and it's time to bug out or hightail it to a safer spot, your ride becomes more than just a car. It is your getaway driver, your lifeline out of chaos. But everyone else is thinking the same thing, and a vehicle with a full tank is like a golden ticket. So how do you keep your wheels from turning into someone else's escape plan? Think about where you park it. A locked garage is solid, but if it's not an option, get creative. Maybe you've got a camouflage tarp or a less conspicuous spot down the road. Also consider a steering wheel lock or a kill switch, something that makes your car less appealing. Alcohol. Alcohol is another commodity that's often overlooked until times get tough. In an SHTF situation, it's not just about kicking back with a cold one. Alcohol becomes a prime bartering item, and for some, It's a necessity they can't go without, especially for those battling addiction. That's why keeping your stash under wraps is crucial. You don't want your supply becoming someone else's loot. Maybe there's a hollowed out space in the garage or an unassuming box in the cellar labeled Christmas decorations. Hand tools. We're talking hammers, saws, wrenches, the works. They become as valuable as gold when you need to fix a leaky roof or rig up a makeshift solution to an everyday problem. Tuck them away in a hidden panel behind the workshop, or maybe you've got a secret spot in the basement where no one would look to think to look. The key is making sure they're unnoticed and unremarkable until you need them. How to hide items easily and effectively. Cardboard boxes. Save boxes from deliveries. Put your stashed items into these boxes and mark them with the special code only you know. Writing tax returns on the outside and sticking the boxes in with some other old things is an easy way to disguise your valuables in plain sight. Plastic containers and a vacuum sealer. Vacuum seal important items you want to store but don't necessarily need to get to quickly. You can also use Mylar bags for larger items. Place them in plastic storage bins with secure lids. Throw in some moisture absorbers and bury them in spots you will remember. Crawl spaces, attics, or that space under the stairs. Consider converting all or a part of these spaces into hidden areas. It is an easy DIY project to install doors with hidden hinges that don't appear to open. Your garage or other workspace. Install pegboards and hang items to make them appear as sturdy, non-movable walls. But using hidden hinges on the seams where the pegboards meet, you can easily create hidden storage behind them. Tape it up. You have a rafter, a space under your house, or room inside of an AC duct. Vacuum seal items and tape them into place in these areas. There you have it, items you do not want on display in any SHTF situation, and some pretty cool ways to hide them. Remember, the key is to strike a balance between accessibility and security. Keep essential items hidden but accessible enough that you can retrieve them quickly in an emergency. And consider which items you might need quickly and store those nearby. Items you need for more long-term but not immediate access to, utilize more creative hiding spots. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, please check out this video YouTube has chosen for you to watch next based on your viewing history.